What's up guys, welcome back to a top 3 video. In this video we're going to be going over the top 3 SMGs in my opinion in Borderlands 3. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so my last top 3 video I did was actually my first one, top 3 bosses to farm in Borderlands 3. Did extremely well, so thank you guys for the support on that. We got lots of new subscribers from that video too, so shout out to you guys. So if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can check out all my future Borderlands 3 content. Alright, so let's get into number 3 on the list. Number 3 on my list of top 3 SMGs is definitely the Cutsman, alright? And I have really good reasoning behind why I put this as number 3 on my list. Alright, so the Cutsman is definitely one of the most powerful SMGs as far as raw damage output. Even after the, I believe, I can't remember if it was a 35% or 30% decrease in the amount of damage it did. If you guys didn't know, the Cutsman did recently get a nerf in the last update. I think it was actually a couple weeks ago. I posted a video on it. If you want to check it out, top right corner of the video right now, you'll be able to check out the nerf on the Cutsman. Is it still a good weapon? Spoiler alert, it is. But even with that big damage nerf, this gun still shreds through enemies. This is my go-to weapon for boss farming. If you guys watch my top 3 boss farm video, if you have a corrosive and a electric Cutsman, you will completely shred through that enemy. If you have an electric and a corrosive Cutsman, you will completely shred through Categor's Ball. And I mean, that goes for pretty much any boss in the game that is weak to a certain element. I mean, this gun shreds through any boss. The damage output on it is high enough already, and then the elemental damage per second is in the thousands as well. So you're getting extremely high raw damage and extremely high elemental damage per second. It does come in all different elements, so I highly suggest you guys get one in every single element. That way you have a different Cutsman for every different scenario, because trust me, you're going to want to have one for every different scenario. The Cutsman is unfortunately obtained via a random world drop. However, keep in mind there is an update, I believe, coming this month that's going to change the way the loot works. All loot is going to have a dedicated drop source going forward. So depending on the time you guys are watching this video, the drop source may change for all these weapons that I list in the video, so just keep that in mind. But my final verdict on the Cutsman, it's definitely a boss shredder. Would I use it against normal mobs? I will. That's what you guys watch me do in this gameplay here. I am shredding through normal mobs. This is my go-to boss shredder. You guys will see my number 2 and number 1 SMGs. Those are the ones that I kind of tend more to straight up mob farming. Number 2. Alright, number 2 is a very popular SMG called the Crossroad. The Crossroad is a pretty strong SMG that shoots in burst fire mode. It shoots a lot of projectiles in one burst. It has a rather high magazine size. The only downside to this weapon is it has an extremely slow reload speed. I'm talking like 4 or 5 seconds. Once you guys get to using this weapon, you'll notice that the damage it does kind of outweighs the reload speed that it has. So I personally rock the cryo variant of this weapon. It is also good to carry a fire weapon because fire is just a great element for this game. I mean, so many enemies are weak to fire in this game, it's ridiculous. But I use cryo because I rock Zane, and Zane has a ton of different perks that boost cryo damage, so that's why I rock the cryo one personally. But you guys will notice this gun has a 126%, on the cryo at least, has 126% cryo efficiency. So not only are you going to be doing a ton of damage with this weapon, you're going to have the super high elemental chance. So you're going to be, in my case, freezing everyone if you're using the fire one. You're going to be lighting everyone on fire. You're going to be doing a lot of damage per second. So if you're rocking Amara, this is definitely a great one to go with as well, because Amara definitely specializes in elemental damage. And then you got all the Mayhem 3 modifiers. Some of them will give you, like 30% increased fire damage or whatnot. This gun is really going to help out with those modifiers as well. So my final verdict on this weapon, definitely one of my go-tos for mobbing. Would I use it against a boss? Not necessarily. I would, but I would definitely choose the Cutsman first over the Crossroad when it comes to boss farming, you know? But anyways, that's the Cutsman. It is a random world drop again, but keep in mind that may change depending on when you're watching this video. Now let's move on to number 1. The Nighthawken is straight up OP. Do I need to even say any more about this weapon? I don't think so. But seriously, guys, the Nighthawken is definitely, in my opinion, the best SMG in this game. One of the best weapons in the game, too, in general, as far as all the weapons in the game. This is definitely always in my inventory, always on one of my 1 through 4 weapons. This is one that I'm going to rock no matter what. It is by far the best weapon for mob killing, okay? There's a lot of different things that go on with this weapon, and there's a lot of YouTubers and stuff that are misinforming their audiences on what this weapon actually does and how it works. So I'm going to try and break it down for you guys so you can get a better understanding of what this weapon does and why it's so good. So the Nighthawken is obtained via random world drop, and then the only variant, or I'm sorry, the only element that's going to come in is cryo, right? But that doesn't mean that's the only element it does. The Nighthawken, while it is cryo and it's always going to say that it's a cryo weapon, it can also do fire. I didn't even mention, but this weapon's also a Stranger Things reference. My bad, it is a Stranger Things reference. But anyways, back to the elemental standpoint, it does do fire damage. Now, how it works is during the daytime, this weapon is only going to do cryo damage, and it's going to have a flat out damage rate, alright? Most of them come anywhere between 300 to 400 damage. Of course, depending on your parts and everything, your damage number is going to fluctuate a little bit, even if your weapon's level 50. Now, where this weapon starts to shine, and don't get me wrong, it still shines in the daytime, but where this weapon shines even more, once it turns night, you're going to notice that it's going to start doing fire damage. Not only is it going to do fire damage, it's going to receive a damage modifier of up to 3 times. So that means if your damage is at a 350 times 3, you're going to be rocking what? Over 1,000 damage? That's freaking nuts. You guys will see in this gameplay on the screen here that I am completely shredding through these mobs, and I'm not using any of my Zane skills or anything. I tried to stay away from those in this video so I can show you guys just the straight up gun power of all these different weapons. I mean, this weapon is just great for mob killing, dude. Like, definitely by far the best one to get, and it's really, while it is a random world drop, it's a pretty generous drop, at least for me so far. I've gotten about 4 or 5 of them in my time playing the game, so they're really not that hard to come across. I highly recommend getting the burst fire variant because the burst fire shoots way faster than the full auto version. So if you come across a burst fire one, definitely stick with the burst fire. So final verdict on the weapon, my favorite SMG in the game by far, one of my favorite weapons in the game, always going to be in my hotbar. I'm always going to be using it. I wish I would have done this in the last video, but I didn't. We're gonna do a honorable mention. My honorable mention is gonna have to go to the Vanquisher. The Vanquisher is a pretty I said this in my video I did on it. It's a pretty standard SMG. There's not really anything crazy about it. What I do love about it is you get that extra slide speed, 20% extra slide speed. If you can get a good elemental variant of this weapon, I mean, it's pretty dang good. And while this weapon isn't gonna shred through enemies like crazy or anything, I mean, you guys can see from the gameplay, it's not the best weapon. It's just kind of your standard SMG. There's nothing crazy about it, but there's just something about it that I enjoy. I think it's that slide speeds, bro, because I rock the Snowdrift relic that gives me 102% slide speed. So then I put on the Vanquisher as well. I got 122% slide speed, bro. You guys see how fast I'm just sliding, bro. But yeah, the one I have is a radiation variant. It's fun to use. If you get it, I recommend using it. Try out the extra slide speed. It does also give you double the fire rate when you slide, so that's super cool. However, I will say, if you're using the Snowdrift relic with this thing, or artifact, I keep calling them relics. If you're using the Snowdrift artifact with this thing, there's no way you're going to be able to take advantage of that double fire rate whenever you're sliding, because you're going to be sliding way too freaking fast to be able to hit any enemies. But if you're just using this weapon without the Snowdrift artifact, then you will be able to take a huge advantage of that double fire rate. And don't underestimate double fire rate. Double fire rate is extremely fast. This gun shoots like half a mile an hour. It's ridiculous. Did I just say half a mile an hour like that was fast? That was so stupid. But anyways, guys, that's my top 3 SMG list with my honorable mention going to the Vanquisher. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys want to see more videos like this, top 3 assault rifles, top 3 shotguns, any type of videos, Borderlands videos I want to see, make sure y'all drop them in the comments below. I read through all my comments and try to reply to every single one. So I'm always open to video suggestions and video ideas that you guys might want to see me do. And if you want to catch me playing some Borderlands 3 live, I play a lot of other games like Overwatch and Call of Duty too. If you want to catch me play those live, head over to my Twitch channel. The link is down below in the description. I'd love to have you guys hang out with me over in those streams. But other than that, you guys have a fantastic rest of the day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.